Holy shit, guys. It is January 16th, 2016, and Wizards of the Coast just banned Splinter Twin from the modern format. And I know I haven't posted a video in a while, but this is game changing. In my personal opinion, and I will get into the details of why, this is a disaster. This is one of the worst moves that Wizards has made on the modern format since inception. This is horrible. The other card they banned, of course, was Summer Bloom, but I will get to that in a second. So firstly, let's talk about the last big ban that Wizards did, and that would be Birthing Pod. Now, a lot of people were angry when Birthing Pod got banned, understandably. A lot of people owned the deck. It was an expensive deck. There was a large price to buy into it. You know, I can understand being upset that Birthing Pod got banned, but I also understand why Birthing Pod got banned. Birthing Pod was the type of card that limits design for years to come. Every good creature that gets printed, with Birthing Pod being in the format, they have to think, well, how does this affect Birthing Pod? And one of the cases that we can see this is extremely clear is with Siege Rhino. Siege Rhino, I think, is the card that, quote unquote, it broke the camel's, it was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? If you can take a Kitchen Finks and turn it into two Siege Rhinos, that's just way too insane. And the decks that we were seeing right before Pod got banned, some of the best ones were just that. They weren't combo decks. They were just the Abzan value decks that were doing exactly what I just said. Playing a Kitchen Finks, sacking it twice, gaining the life off that, and then getting two Siege Rhinos. And it's just insane. Like, that is insane for clear reasons, and you can see how Birthing Pod, as a card, limited what type of creatures that they could make for the future. So Birthing Pod did have to go, just because every single creature that comes out after Birthing Pod may or may not be a problem in some way. So perfectly fair, understandable. The banning of Splinter Twin, however, is just... I am blown away by it. I was fully expecting Summer Bloom to be banned. And again, I will get to that in a second, but Splinter Twin is just insane. Wizards has said over and over again that they want Modern to be a turn 4 format. And that bothers me for a few reasons. Number one, they've set like this hard fast rule in the turn 4 format that comes up in a lot of conversations in places it doesn't quite I feel belong. I guess I should say this. I think it's too hard of a rule. Like, I often find myself in conversations where I'm talking to someone and they're saying something like, well, Jace the Mind Sculptor should be unbanned because it doesn't win on turn 4. And that's just insane. Winning on turn 4 very rarely happens in Modern. What Wizards means to say is they don't want you to be able to win before turn 4. Okay, fine, understandable. Splinter Twin was the definition of the turn 4 deck. And yeah, there are hands where they have the combo and you lose. But that isn't the majority of the time, and to be a good twin player takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a good draw to win on turn 4. So I feel like banning this deck, they've actually just knocked down a pillar of the Modern format. And I think it's just ridiculous. I think there's no reason for it. The deck performed well in the hands of good pilots, but that's to be expected of any tier 1 deck in any format. They certainly didn't ban Miracles from Legacy, right? They did not get rid of Top, which I think is a card that was begging to be banned. I know that's a different format, but that's the case I'm using. Like if they want Modern to be a turn 4 format, then banning the definition of a turn 4 deck in that Splinter Twin is a 4 mana card is just insane. It's an insane thing to do. I do not understand it. I've read their reasoning for it. I don't agree with any of it. And I think it's going to pave the way for a very interesting Modern season coming up. Without digging too much into the details, to be honest, I'm not the greatest Magic player in the world. I'm okay. I try to keep as much up on the formats as possible, but I don't know everything. What it spells out to me in bold letters at first glance is Tron. Be playing Tron. This just makes Tron, in my mind, amazing. And this is like Tron's wet dream. It kills Merfolk, it kills Jund, it kills Abzan, it kills most other decks in the format. I mean, it was limited by Combo. Combo was the deck that killed Tron, and now that doesn't exist, so just Tron, I guess. I could be wrong, but I mean, if I was going to sleeve up a deck tomorrow and play it, it would absolutely be Tron, especially in the fact that they just picked up the new Ulamog, which is an insane card. Like, the deck just got a huge boost in the form of the new Ulamog and even, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the card name. It's a 6-drop that lets you fetch for a 7-drop, and then your first creature card of each turn is 2 mana less. If somebody would like to post that in the comments, that is the card I'm talking about. So basically, Tron just got this huge boost in cards printed, and now Twin has been eliminated from the format. I can't imagine a better metagame for Tron. I actually played the deck 3 days ago at my local F&M, and I crushed Jund, Abzan, and Genesis Wave, but that one was kind of a fluke, because the deck is kind of a fluke. But anyway, eliminating Twin from the metagame, I think, was a huge mistake. Like I said, in the last banning, I understand the reasoning for Pod. I do not understand the reasoning for Twin. And now I've pushed this off long enough, so I'd like to talk about Summer Bloom. I think Summer Bloom is kind of something we all saw coming, and it does make sense. The Amulet Bloom deck was both non-interactive and extremely fast on its good draws. I know that's not always the case. You don't always get that nut draw where you just gets to go insane. But on its good draws, amazing. Had potential for like turn 1, turn 2. And even on its bad draws, you're not playing interactive Magic. You're playing a game, but it's not Magic. It's something else. It's something much stranger and odder, and it's definitely not a game of Magic. I appreciate the deck for its incredible ingenuity and how... Actually, off the top of my head, I do not remember who originally built the deck, but I commend them for it. They took a bunch of cards with downsides and turned them into upsides, which I think is incredible. Just the design space that deck happened in, I find amazing. Is it good for Modern? Not necessarily. It's one of those decks where you could almost, if you get the reference to playing Magic Online, when they're going off, you could just write F6 on a piece of paper and get up and go do something else, and then come back and see if you've lost or not. So I understand the ban on Summer Bloom. That makes sense to me. The Twin one absolutely does not. I think this was a very wild move by Wizards. I think it's going to push up like Liliana Tarmogoyf prices even higher. But, I mean, don't go investing because of me. These are all just suspicions that I have. Yeah, but I guess in the next few months we'll see. I will say this: I'm extremely disappointed in the decision. I am not a twin player myself. I play mostly red green Tron or mono blue Tron, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And even though this is a huge win for the deck I'm playing, I'm very unhappy with the decision. I think they knocked out a pillar of the format for absolutely no good reason. So I guess we will see what happens. Um, I will try to post more gameplay videos soon. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.